Hello and welcome back to the M3DM Tavern. Got a fun stream planned for y'all today. Most of you guys are already hanging out in the chat. If not, you're from their Discord. But yeah, today is Ricky's birthday. Let's get some confetti for that. He turns 28 today, so now we're the same age. And also, funny enough, that is the same birthday as our dog, who is this blue lump right here. It's morning nap time. It's currently 11 Eastern time here. And yeah, Maverick turns 4 today, so in dog years, he is also 28. So Ricky and I technically, or Ricky and the dog, are technically same birthday, same age, just for today. So yeah, but welcome in, guys. I got a poll for the peasants right now. You guys can pick whether our warm-up today is going to be the Hodag or the Halfling Monk. If you guys just do your little peasant ritual and it's a tie the whole time, I will break the tie. I hope you guys are doing good, and I'm really excited for today's stream. It might be a little bit shorter in light of Ricky's birthday, but probably not. Probably do a full thing, and then afterwards, my husband and I are gonna go out and probably go to the range, and then go get burgers. So, pretty excited. But welcome all you guys. See Sofire, Blaze, Hindsight, Aloha, of course. And Monkey. Welcome back, Monkey. Pretty awesome. Ricky should break the tie today. Yeah, if it's a tie, and it looks like it is a tie, I can have Ricky break the tie. I'm pretty sure he'd pick the Hodag, if I had to guess. Oh, someone new is here. Cars in Space. I'm gonna call you Cars. Welcome. We worked on the Hodag. It was the main event a couple days ago, so it already has been started. If you want to see that sculpted from a sphere, I have that on my YouTube channel. I post all my live streams later to watch, so that video on demand. Oh, Ricky votes Halfling Monk. You know? Almost 11 years of being together, still surprises me. I like it. All right, we're not gonna do confetti the whole time, unless you guys want confetti the whole time. Guess Ricky told you, yeah. Hodag is still slightly in the lead, but we can bring up either. Alrighty, let me make myself small. But yeah, I hope you guys are doing really good and excited for this. I'm going to bring up the Hodag right now because it's currently in the lead. I think it's going to stay in the lead. So this is not a Hodag from Pathfinder. This is actually the cryptid from Wisconsin. It's supposed to be stout as a bull, reptilian-like, covered in scales. We did some modifications as we designed this on Scream. Live stream. And we have some detail work here on the face, but we started this bad boy from a sphere and he has come out quite lumpy and quite nice, if I do say so myself. I think my favorite part about this so far is that face and that acid drool. He's a cute boy. Ricky says, I am worth 2 votes today. You can be, and I still think the peasants have outvoted you. I'm sorry, honey. Minnie Bly says, I think it'd be cool to do something steampunk. Funny you say that. I've actually done an entire steampunk collection. I have like 50 models for that, something like that. All right, looks like the Hodag is going to win. I'm gonna go ahead and end that poll. You're so close, honey. All right. So let's get some more work on the Hodag. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Mia. I am the M in M3DM, which is short for Mia's 3D Models. I sculpt 3D printable models. That's the whole point. I've been doing this for about 6 years, sculpted almost 1,000 of them. If you want all 1,000 of them, I have over 400 people that support me on Patreon, and that's why I can do this full time. The streams are just a fun thing that I do to engage with my community, teach new people, maybe scout some new prospective students. I also teach ZBrush. If you're interested in any of that, links in the description, but that's your recap. You got some lore background for the tavern and why we do what we do here. So with that being said, let's get started. We're going to continue to start detailing this. I'm really starting to push these secondary forms. I'm going to do my little stamp off to the side here, so that way we have kind of a reference. He's really looking quite bulldog-like, which I'm really happy with. In the first stream where we introduced him, maybe 2 days ago, you guys voted to have him be a bit more on the territorial side, in addition to being stout. And I think he's coming across lovely. There are some pretty harsh seams in between his limbs and his bodies, and that's partly because those are actually distinct objects. You can kind of see right here all the different subtools I have going on. But once I pose him, I'll blend all those seams with some musculature, some tendons, all that good stuff. So yeah. I hope you guys have been doing good, obviously. Ricky and I have a fun day planned today. Gonna try to get our festivities out before the storm comes in. We got a pretty gnarly thunderstorm coming in. Not just east, it's gonna hit East Tennessee, which is where I'm at, but it's also hitting the states below us, around us. It's a huge, huge storm. So I'm sure we'll be just fine, but keep us in mind anyway. We're gonna show a little bit more love for these feet by request of Mini Blaze. Have these long, gnarly talons. I'm also going to duplicate this little subtool here to create more of a pad for his feet. By dynameshing at a low resolution, that allows me to kind of have a little more flexibility for this little foot pad I'm going to create here. Here we go. I'm giving him kind of almost dragon-esque feet, but more reminiscent of a lizard than anything else. I'm very open with my process and had a lot of practice of describing how I do techniques and my thought process. But if you have anything specific that I'm not covering, anyone that's new and lurking here, like shout out to Cards, make sure you ask, because I'm super, super open. If you're not a 3D modeler and you're just kind of hanging out, then just enjoy the show. Both are very welcome and allowed. All right, getting more of a seam here over these toes. And then we're also gonna add some creases for where these claws line up. I'm gonna need to shrink down the base of the claws a bit because his foot is not quite big enough to wrap around these giant toenails we've made for him. I can do some quick adjustments by grabbing my Move topological brush and kind of pulling these into place. More than likely, when I'm finished with these front feet, I'm gonna duplicate them for the back. There'll be a couple adjustments since back feet are slightly different. I might make the toes a little longer for more of that scooping power when they run forward. But for the most part, they'll look pretty similar. We'll also add some more of these ridge scales running up the forearm. ZBrush has some really lovely default brushes in here that can use to kind of quickly add some secondary forms. Let's do more of a gradient. I like to have, I'm going to repeat textures. I like to make them run down smaller or larger in one direction. It's kind of like a nice guide for your eye. There we are. Well, for those of y'all who are not around Tennessee and our landlocked friends, so that means you don't have a huge thunderstorm and tornadoes coming. What you guys doing this weekend? Any fun plans? Oh, it's a fantastic idea, using these giant longhorns as handlebars. He would be a pretty epic mount. I think that he would be on the friendlier side too, minus the spikes. You need a custom saddle. Dog pads, look at Maverick's paws. Yeah, my dog, he's a pug, so he's kind of toad-like. So far says, ooh, I was gonna ask how you approach scales that slightly overlap. Yeah, so I'm usually just careful in the way that I'm layering these up, because let's say if you have a couple scales here and you just keep crunching them on here, see how it just like distorts itself into like this big nice mess? You obviously don't want that. So just kind of see what direction the volume is adding and then complement that as you go up. So in this case, I want to go down the form, so it's not going to distort them. So notice I started at the top and went down. If I do the opposite, go down and try to go up, they're gonna pull into each other. We don't want that. You could prevent that with a mask. So I can do this and then scribble my little mask and do another one, scribble my little mask and do another one, but that takes much longer. So why? Also, if you're adding a different type of scale, almost like those more like leopard spot ones, I recommend coming in with your mask pen brush and just think of drawing lots of rounded squares, rectangles, and triangles. I literally just alternate my head, triangle, square, square, triangle, literally. And then as I keep doing that, you end up with a pretty nice toad pattern. I like to run over this with clay tubes. Add a little bit of volume, and then I smooth it out. And there you go. Now you got some scales. I do recommend poly painting them something a bit darker. Poly paint is just a fancy word for color in ZBrush. And that way they actually stand out. But there you go. There's a little quick scale tutorial. Rinse and repeat as much or as little detail as you'd like. All right, let's keep working on these little toes up here. The resolution is going to need to be increased so that way we can add some nice, plainer, sharper features, the same way we did the horns, and then what we will later do for the spines. Something to note for the spines here, though, is that I'm not going to individually detail every single spine because they're the same spine. So I can just do one tooth or spike and then just duplicate it throughout. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's detail these little toes first. As of right now, I can see that all of these toes, all 6 of them, they're less than 1,000 points, which means if I try to detail it, it's really not going to do a whole lot. Just going to pixelate and distort. See this? Kind of just looks bad. So I need to add some more resolution. You can use Dynamesh for that, but I like to use subdivision levels. So I'll hit Command and D, and that is my shortcut for adding resolution. Now that we have more resolution, you can kind of tell because it's smoother, you can start adding these planar faces by all sorts of techniques. I'm going to use Trim Dynamic and Age Polish. You could use a surface noise modifier. I've used a Voronoi, I think it's called, to varying success, but I don't feel like working with surface modifiers right now, so I'm not going to. We're just gonna come in here with Trim Dynamic and just I kind of click and I scribble, click and scribble. If you just drag, it'll flatten out pretty nicely too, but I want more of that like chipped look. Make sure you kind of vary up the length on them too. And if you want to have a harsher line where they're connected, you can spend time sculpting that or go to your geometry palette and just click on clay polish a few times. And that'll kind of sharpen up those features for you as well. My dog is like mad snoring in the back, so per usual. But if you're new here and you're like, wow, what is that? It's just ambiance of the tavern. Just gonna keep working through here, getting some chipping going. Hindsight says, I feel like Blaze. Oh no, what's your comment? I accept the body is still in block-in. We're past block-out. I'm not sure of the relative thinness of the legs, but he reads as more bloated than stout. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with some bloat on our toad cryptid here. Sapphire says to Hindsight, maybe an acid pouch, like how the toad puffs up their chest in a fight or mating. I'm not really sure which. Yeah, I like that idea a lot. As far as like, we could make the arms thicker to where they're, more than likely they're gonna extend farther back like this. But as far as rough proportions go, nah, he's looking pretty solid. And of all things, bloated, yeah, I'm happy. That's kind of exactly what I'd want to go for. So, unintentional, thank you. All right, let's keep working on these toes. And being like Mini Blaze is not the worst thing. Let's get that straight. Alrighty. You know, I'm actually not going to worry about detailing these bottom of the feet too much because I'm probably going to have them flat on the ground anyhow, and we're not going to end up seeing them. Alright, let's kind of fit these wrinkles a little better. And then we're going to add some slight weathering with an alpha. We're about halfway done with our warm-up period, and then we'll begin our main craft of the day. The Tavern Keeper's craft today is an Eldritch Foxfolk. I'm a little unclear on the design, like all my models here. They are requests from people that support me on Patreon. So shout out to them. Thank you so much for making this possible in my full-time career. That being said, this one's pretty open-ended and odd, so I'm going to really try to lend into the Eldritch feeling of it. It's pretty much a Foxfolk with a mask. That's pretty much it. I'm I don't know if they're a spellcaster. Since they're Eldritch, it makes me think more Warlock, of course. But it's pretty open-ended. So I'm looking forward to your guys' input to maybe give this character a little bit more direction once we get there. I do think this guy would benefit from some vein-like appearance. Or just kind of some leathery texture. When I pose him, I might lower his body quite a bit, as if he is dragging his belly against like the forest floor. So I imagine it'd be a bit leathery in texture. I can't get what Sophire said out of my head though about this like venom sac. I think that's a really cool idea. So I might make this a little more round. That's a really, really cool idea. Which I know complements what I already have here, but I wasn't thinking of it that clearly. So now that you've said it, keep that in mind. For any new lurkers we do have a Discord channel where we share references with each other and images and ideas. So there's kind of like 2 chats I'll be going on. So you'll probably hear me referencing the Discord a lot throughout the stream. If you want to invite to that, just let me know and I'll throw it in the chat on YouTube. My Discord used to be patrons only, but my live streams have grown a lot, and just by being here, you're part of the community, so don't be shy. All right, these back feet are now not on par with these cute little front feeties. So let's go ahead and merge these pieces down, duplicate them, and throw them on the back. There we go. I'm gonna make that bottom pad, that's kind of what I've been calling it, a bit longer and these back feet a bit larger. Just like that. Obviously we need a lot more blending of shapes going on, but we have a good start here. I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter Wilds lately, so if you look closely, you're definitely going to see influences of that in my monster design. Not just this one, but just my monster designs in general. Bunny's here. Hi, welcome back. Eldritch Fox makes me think of baby metal a little bit. Gosh, I haven't thought about that in a long time. All right. I missed a good amount of chat here. Yeah, scroll through. All right, some good stuff happening in our Discord that I've already talked about. I love it. And then Hindsight says, example of thickness of hips and shoulders versus spindly legs, which you have a moose versus a buffalo. Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, and I'm agreeing. So it's moose or horse. This is definitely not on the moose or horse side. I know they're a bit thinner. I really wouldn't worry about it until I've posed, so don't you worry. The proportions I got here are definitely much closer to buffalo, so I'm not too worried. But I appreciate you pointing it out, and I hear your point. All right, and then Bonnie shares some cool stuff. Oh, that's a cool monster. Very cool. Have you seen the singular point design of an Anguirius? They specifically call attention to the fact that it's plantigrade at the front and digitigrade on the back. Oh, cool. Kind of like what I did here. Very cool. The wrinkle detail helps. Absolutely. All right. We're just about done with our warm-up here, and then we're going to roll on to our main event, which is going to be that Eldritch Fox. I am so happy with this like bulldog-like front we have too. Pretty neat. I'm going to pull this belly and throat acid pouch we have out just a touch more. And just kind of continue to build up these forms and play with them. I wouldn't be surprised that after all is said and done, his arms end up sitting closer to up here. The whole main part of the body here is probably going to end up being more like that. Obviously this is a bit extreme, but you get the idea. I'm gonna start detailing one of these spikes, and then I can move that one spike around. I'm gonna grab this one, duplicate it, move it on up, and then I'll single this one out. Very similar to the teeth and to the claws. We're gonna add some resolution and then go with trim dynamic. I like going through with clay polish to help kind of define those edges just a little bit more. Sometimes trim dynamic works great, other times I find H polish works better. I like to use a combination of both. Since this is a longer form, I find with less plane changes, I find H polish does a slightly better job, but I still end up using both. And my break symmetry so I can get a couple asymmetrical details here on the front. It's not going to be too sharp and spiny because these are all meant for 3D printing. So if I have things that are too thin, you end up with other problems when you print. And I don't actually want anyone to spear themselves picking this up. Like this edge here is a bit too thin, so we're gonna widen that up. It can still have a nice pointed appearance, but I don't want it to be a literal blade, you know? There we go. All right, we have our nice spine here. I'm gonna reduce the resolution so that when I copy it, I don't have millions of points by accident. Bunny says chunk in all caps. Yes, that's exactly what's gonna end up happening. Sapphire says, anyone else remember the Rollin' Wild animation shorts? I don't. I might have to look that up after my stream. You're more than welcome to share that in our Discord though. All right, now that we got our spine here, I'm gonna make sure it has a correct symmetry point. It does. And then I'm just gonna click and drag and duplicate really quick. And then that's gonna take us perfectly out of our warm-up period and into the main part of the stream. I'm getting better at these transitions and being on time. Easier said than done. All right, these spines are done. I can go ahead and delete them. I don't need this copy anymore either. And then to create the smaller spines, I'm just gonna simply take this main one and duplicate it. Once the model is posed, I'm probably gonna run around throughout and add like little asymmetrical spikes that are much smaller. But we won't worry about that until we get there. Deleting these points, fitting those kind of back behind that scapula, and then mirror and weld. Oh, I can do the same treatment for the tail while we're at it. I don't have any weathering on these spikes yet, but I will. All right, I think we're just about done here. At least with this warm-up. Obviously this model still needs a lot of work. We got a good amount done here in this 30 minutes. Perfect. All right. Hindsight says, where are you from again? Because you do that Midwest plain things of putting an L in both. Both? Both? I'm from California, but being in Tennessee is difficult because the accent out here is really strong and it definitely has worn on me a little bit in this last year. That's why I have kind of like a nothing mishmax accent on different streams. They definitely sound different. Both. You won't see me dropping letters though, usually just adding them. Like I'm not gonna say like mountain, it's mountain. Like I do over enunciate some words and under enunciate others. Don't forget the rear pause. Yeah, they're on there. And we're done with this warm up here. Oh, so I got distracted by Rolling Wild video references. Yeah, no worry. All right, we are done with our warm-up. Let's do a nice little fun render. Zoom in on that ugly mug. Excellent. Mini Blaze says, you'll speak like a proper Southerner before you know it. Oh, I know, I've gotten better. I can just turn it on, but it feels pantomime-y. Not pantomime-y, but mimicky. I don't mind sounding like where I currently live, but I don't want to... I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It feels dishonest to like have a thick accent when I didn't my entire life, even though, my goodness, when I talk to some people out here, like, it's hard to not mimic naturally, you know? And it's so sing-songy and easy to pick up. Hindsight says, such a dialectical hodgepodge at this point. Yeah, and the monkey, water, shore, yeah. Hindsight says, same girl, same. Yeah. All right, we are done with our warm-up. Let's go ahead and move on to that main event. First, I'm gonna save this so I don't lose any of that progress. Alrighty, on to Minecraft. Okay, so for today's main craft, it is going to be an Eldritch Foxfolk. I don't think you guys are gonna be super in love with the design right from the get-go, but this person has supported me for a while. I think if I remember right, it's Rob Perry. Yeah, it's not Robert. They have similar names and it confuses me. But that being said, I think we can do a lot with it. So I'm gonna bring in my big base mesh file here, even though it's not going to be a human. And I can show you what they provided me. I'm not going to reference it exactly, but we can kind of get a start here of what was provided. If you're interested in supporting me on Patreon, putting in requests, you don't have to draw your own art. Don't worry about that. Some people do. It's not required. But this is the sketch they gave me. So it's kind of Eldritch-y, but not really. I mean, we have that front mask here with a singular eyeball, which is cool. But I really want to do a lot more with this design. It's pretty plain. So that's why we have our main order here. It's an Eldritch Foxfolk, ceramic mask, peasant blouse, wide belt, and long pants. And that's pretty much it. They didn't really give me anything else here. They said it's vaguely humanoid fox-like. This looks pretty literal. Maybe we'll make it a little more human on the hands, less of the tiny feet, that kind of stuff. But that's what we're dealing with today. We're gonna make something really cool out of it, because that's my job. So let's get to it. So if I were asked, does Eldritch mean tentacles or just cosmic horror Lovecraftian? I am happy you ask. So specifically in D&D, Eldritch beings are mysterious, otherworldly entities that exist beyond mortal comprehension. They often come from realms outside time and space, such as the Far Realm, in D&D specifically. So in other words, yes, tentacles. It's a dimension of madness and chaos that defies the laws of reality. It's heavily inspired by Lovecraftian horror, so like Cthulhu. Cthulhu is like the most recognizable. There are a lot of monsters within Lovecraftian world and horror, but I can't pronounce any of the other ones other than Cthulhu. But that all really heavily influences all the Eldritch beings in D&D in most tabletop games, to the point of like they're somewhat interchangeable. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get a poll going right here. Or let me get the fox blocked out first. That way we make sure we're kind of brainstorming this idea together before we think of elements that are too Eldritchy. Again, Eldritchy Foxfolk, but not a literal monster. It's going to be an interesting in-between we're going to have to strike here. I'm going to laugh if I didn't save a Foxfolk base, because I definitely made that female werewolf recently, remember y'all? And it looked very foxy by the end of it. Yeah, I just have the wolf folk, which is fine, because a lot of the body is not going to be visible. So I can modify it from this wolf that I've created a while back. Oh, and funny reminder, like we do have the male base mesh, which y'all didn't think was male enough. Nah, you guys were just messing with me, but it was pretty funny. That stream was for a while back. All right, so this is our dude we have. I'm gonna go ahead and delete him. And then our female base mesh. And again, a lot of this is not going to be the main accent here. It's gonna be more about being kind of like a peasant monster thing. We'll see. And then in reference to like Lovecraftian monsters, Hindsight says, lol, I was just sitting here thinking, yeah, you can't say any of their damn names. It's true. B says, kicks tavern door open dramatically. Hello, B. What's up? Hindsight says, people that give fantasy shit for making crazy name stuff have never tried to read oh my god, Lovecraftian wackiness. Accurate. I can't even say Lovecraftian. Alrighty. Where is the tail? That's like one of the few aspects I actually wanted to keep. All right. I'm gonna do a bit of quick work here and then I'll check back in with y'all. But right now there's not enough here to even get your guys' input, but there will be soon. Let me grab that reference up so I can grab some color. Oh, I got some really weirdness going on with the poly paint. Just bear with me. It's all going to make sense. Oh, it's because it's a different material poking through. Just in case you're wondering what's going on there. In order to fix that, all you have to do is change your RGB to mRGB so it includes material. You can do that by holding spacebar and right here. Doop, and it's fixed. We're gonna kind of get this eerie, vague purple dropped onto the model. And then my favorite, which is adding kind of like a basic two-tone appearance. Really simple. Just to kind of give us a starting point, and then I'll give her some pants and a shirt. All right, already looking a bit better here. Gonna dress up my scene like I normally do. There we go. All right. On to some basics, and then I'll get your guys' input, okay? The first thing they mentioned, she has a peasant blouse. I don't think I have a basic peasant blouse right now, so let's go ahead and make one. I have a lot of shirts and stuff, but nothing that's just straight up peasant. Skimming through these quickly. We can use this little corset piece and then build that blouse on top of it. I mean, this is pretty on the money, actually. Excuse me. Yeah, we might use this. Obviously, you guys are welcome to comment and give suggestions. Right now, I'm just not going to be looking at them until I'm ready to... Or I might look at them, I just might not acknowledge you guys until I'm ready to move on to that part of the model. I gotta get the main essence on here first before we can really start modifying. Does that make sense? It's always tricky to do like these loose pants on Digitrade models because they get really silly around this like back knee. I usually will cut it off right above the top of the knee. So I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do with that. In this reference, it's definitely an artist that hasn't quite found their, or has a lot of experience drawing digitigrade legs because they have the structure of digitigrade legs, but then the silhouette is perfectly straight, which is kind of odd. Mini Blaze says this one's gonna need a hood and cloak to work with the mask. I actually did read that comment out loud because I like that idea a lot and I really agree. Unfortunately, ZBrush kind of crapped the bed, so we gotta redo a little bit of work here. Not a huge deal. If you kind of click around too quickly, it upsets ZBrush and it will be very crash sensitive. And I know that, so I was working a little too quickly. I have quick saves every 5 minutes, but I still lost a little bit here. I like the cloak a lot better because it looks like on here we have hair, and you guys know how I feel about hair on animals like this. It just doesn't work. I've seen it work fine like a illustrative 2D style, but even then, I also make a rule that if ZBrush ever crashes, I make a better decision the next time with the design. So instead, I'm gonna make stuff from scratch. Then I'll have a nice little top to work with. When you're designing clothes in ZBrush, essentially what you do is you paint on the piece of clothing you want and then you extract it into its own piece. I do a decent amount of Z remeshing so I can kind of clean up the topology I'm working with. ZBrush, stop crashing. Oh my lord. I'm not working that fast. Oh my gosh, we're having a little bit of a hard time here. That's okay. Thanks for bearing with me here. I'm disappointed that one fell off. Boo. And then Hindsight gave a really helpful side-by-side of foxes versus wolves. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter because she has a full face mask, so we're actually not going to be adjusting the face. I'm going to lose my noodle here if I do this a third time. Well, that's unfortunate. Aloha says, can we get a quick Monster Hunter update? Yes, I would much rather talk about that because I'm getting kind of pissy here with ZBrush crash twice now. Man, we're on it. That's actually a new worse. That's okay. We'll color this a different way. You'll never see me do it the same way between crashes. So Monster Hunter is going fantastic. I'm really, really enjoying the game. I knew I was gonna like it, but I didn't know I was gonna have this much fun with it. Currently, I'm at towards the end of high rank, so I'm starting to get into like the final. You redo like the final 3 essentially, which I won't say which ones they are. I don't want to be spoilery, but it's just such a cool game, and I'm really excited to have more event quests come out and this next big title update. B says, sacrifice a small goat to Maxon. It will work this time. I can do that mentally. Mental sacrifice offering. I'm like, stop crashing. Oh my god. Man, is there a monster snoring near you? It's my dog. It's my dog. Excuse me. We're just gonna click and move really slowly since ZBrush is skittish today, apparently. Dumb thing. I bet you it's because I have this stuff open, but it's still annoying. I'm gonna save right now. How about that? Watch it just like crash for a third time while I'm saving, and I'm like, all right guys, sorry, short stream, goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow. Wait, it's a pug? My dog is, yes. This is not a pug. This is gonna be a spooky, foxy, eldritch being. I'm gonna make it more on the lanky, tall, spooky side. You'll see. Usually I'd have that part blocked out by now, but ZBrush keeps crashing. Mm-hmm. All right, we're doing good. Finally, I've gotten past that point where I keep crashing. Oh, that's a fun thing. So yeah, I accidentally inverted my mask, so I extracted the wrong section. Kind of looks funny. Really easy to fix. You just delete it and invert your mask. No big deal. So come here, invert, and we're in business. Crazy. Bonnie, I see the fox masks you put in the Discord chat. Those are really cool looking. This one's more like flat and angular, but it will have those like tall ears on it for sure. Need to give her some pants. And then soon I can give you guys a poll and get your input. I just want to get pants on her. That's all I've been trying to do. ZBrush is not feeling it at all. Mikey's is here. Hi, welcome back. He says, I was expecting a way bigger dog without snoring. Nope, it's just my little goofy pug. He is just part goblin, so that's why he sounds like that. I don't know if you were in here earlier to hear it though, but today is Ricky's birthday, but also it's Maverick's birthday, my dog. He turns 4 today. All right. Oh, and the cloak idea. I need to remember that because that was a really cool idea. I might even do cloak and like a fur cape. It might be a little redundant being a fox, but we'll see. Right now I'm just glancing at the pieces I have here. It's such an odd model that we're working on, and I really want to make it cool. And I think it's going to fight me a little bit to be cool. So I might do a lot from scratch here. Yeah. You'll see I'm obsessively saving now because I'm like, we've hit my tolerance for crashes in a day. Yeah, I never do pants this long on digitigrade legs. I don't know if I'm gonna like it. They specified long pants, and I'm like, but goofy legs. So I always put it above the knee joint usually. But I can at least try it. I haven't checked on you guys in the chat. I hope you guys are being well behaved. I will be there shortly. Once I get that mask on here, it's really going to start to get that, the vibe of this character. Because as of now, it just looks like a fox lady in foxy clothes. And that's not the point here. Or it's not supposed to be the point, anyway. We'll see what this model becomes. Again, I want to really try to keep the essence of what the requester was asking for, but they weren't very specific on what they wanted. So... on the plus side, I'm familiar with this requester. They've supported my work for a long time, so I know they're also just genuinely not very picky. Which makes my life a bit easier. All right, just making sure everything fits, and then we'll finally get that mask blocked out that I keep talking about. All right, so the mask is kind of an interesting problem here because it looks like in order for it to work, the head here needs to be pointed downwards quite a bit. Speaking of, we're going to delete her eyes because you're not going to see them. So we don't need that eye mesh. No eyeballs. All right, we've already gotten a little bit more Lovecraftian, just like that. All right, it need to be pointed down quite a bit for this to work and have a pretty pinched face. It doesn't seem like the model is going to have ears, and there are feathers on the side of the face. So we got all kinds of weirdness going on soon. I'm gonna smooth out this face here. Bear with me, it's gonna be spooky and cool. And I'm gonna use the like natural bits of fur I have on the side of the face to give that feathered appearance. As far as the ears go, I really don't even see them on the reference they provided, but deleting them feels odd. So we're not gonna outright delete them. I might just pin them back. I'm gonna drop a save again because we did something to anger the ZBrush gods today. I don't know what I did. It's gotta be the storm coming. All right, we're starting to get a cooler silhouette here and starting to get more of that monster appearance. It's happening. Foxtails are a bit on the stubby side with a nice poof. There we go. Mini Blaze is giving suggestions for the fox face. It will not be visible literally at all, so we're not going to make it look like a fox. All right, time to make that mask. The bottom jaw is, that's why I've moved the head shape, but you guys are going to see it is a full face ceramic mask. I know how to sculpt a fox. I've done enough bad wolves to get enough cool foxes. Sculpting wolves has been the bane of my existence. That is way harder, I found. All right, we have finally gotten this mask put on here a little bit. Now I'm gonna start to refine it. I'm gonna use ZRemesher in half to accomplish that. And then pulling off these big, weird, large spikes. There we go. And there's going to be a singular spooky eyeball in the middle of this mask. Let's kind of tuck the ears in. There we go. That's more so what it's going to look like. Almost like a Hollow Knight-esque is what this mask reminds me of. I'm going to have to put the reference on screen. I already know it. Because I'm going to keep referencing it, and you guys are going to be like, what are you talking about? Because you cannot see it. Just be telepathic, guys. Just magically see what I see. That would be great. All right, we're going to do some adjusting on my screen. Boop, the whole screen went away. No, just move over. Doesn't want to. There you go. Let's go ahead and hide that. We're gonna do a little bit of shuffling so I can get this reference in here so you guys don't drive me crazy on accident. You guys are being great, to be clear. I know it's gonna keep being brought up, like, what the heck is going on? And I'm like, I'm looking at a picture. This is a picture I'm looking at. Does it make sense now? I've done this before where I like keep the reference on here. The reason why I don't always share it is because sometimes I stray from it quite a bit. It's more of a suggestion than it is they're more like guidelines and rules. But seriously, this one is odd. I don't want to copy it. I want to just get the essence like I did right now, and then let's make something actually cool. I'm not saying this isn't actually cool. I'm just saying that there's some stylistic decisions that I don't understand. So I want to make sure I can tie everything together in a meaningful and cool way. And I think we're already well on our way to do that. If you're just joining the stream, or if you have stuck around the whole time, congrats. Stuff's actually going to start happening where I want your guys' input. So stay tuned. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to ask for the first poll, and we're going to make this something really cool. Mini Blaze has already suggested a cape, which I think, or a cloak, like a hood. That's going to be pretty cool. ZBrush, what makes you think that you can't Z-remesh this? It's not a complicated piece. I'm going to come after you, ZBrush. Stop acting like that. I know you can do it. Come on. There we go. Okay, that's what I thought. It had a little bit of geometry. It was my fault. I have fixed it. Don't crash. I feel you upset. There we go. Right now I'm kind of blocking out that wide belt, and then I'll get that first pull in here. I'm not going with the color scheme that they provided because one, it doesn't affect the 3D model, and two, I don't super like it. But I think this design has a lot of potential to be something really cool and eldritchy and weird. So let's go ahead and make that. Ooh, the shirt that you provide, Mini Blaze, is cute. Oh my god. Yes. I'm gonna make that almost exactly. In our Discord, we have a live stream references channel, and y'all consistently make my day there. She just provided a reference of a peasant top that is similar to the one given in my reference, but better. Mikey says save in all caps. Thank you guys. I appreciate your vibes. I'm sorry I haven't been super in the chat yet, but I'm ready. I'm ready. Okay, I just had to get this done. I knew I was going to be like not happy with this until I had something to look at. I need to adjust my scene as well because we're so dark. There we go. All right. It is coming together. Put a little pin right here. Making something. It's happening. All right, all right. Mini Blaze says, I see why you weren't worried about the snout now. You were correct. But I mean, how could you know? Because I didn't share the reference, so. Oh, I see. The bottom of the pants with a tight sleeve leg hole. That works. You got it. So far says, I swear ZBrush is haunted by a gremlin or something. I 100% agree. Hindsight says, I like hoods, but as much as I hate it, her hair is the only other prominent thing besides her mask. I know. What if we make the hair eldritchy? What if we make it like tentacle-y? Not full tentacle, just like shadowy, like a we can make this okay. We can make this cool. For some reason, the way you describe that, Hindsight, kind of clicked with me, where I'm like, this could be really cool. Where in the world is the sphere? Come hither. There was just a sphere here. We all saw it, right? There it is. I was like, where did it go? All right. I think we can make this really spooky and cool and swirly. All right, so I got this like main poof here, right? And then other than adding secondary details and coolness, what I was thinking that would make this neat is coming in with like the spiral brush, right? Like, what do you guys think about that? And then I don't have any secondary details, but I'd like to have some wisps come off of it. Yeah, I think this is the whole part that's gonna make it eldritchy and spooky. And then maybe some like curved tube moments. Bear with me here. This is definitely a bear with me kind of design where I'm like, it's gonna be cool, just wait. I gotta make it cool though. And that way we are we're being very true to the original design that was provided, but developing the idea in a really interesting and like meaningful way. You know what I mean? It's rough. I mean, I did it in like 5 minutes. But it makes sense. Ooh, what monkey just... Thank you, monkey. Eyeballs. Eyeballs in the hair. More flowing. More this way. Monkey understood the assignment. Oh, and then Mini Blaze provided even better clothing references. Oh my god, Mini Blaze. Yes, you are being promoted to head peasant today. Monkey, your suggestions are also awesome. I'm just obsessed with cute clothes. Bunny says, tentacle hair is easier to 3D print. You're correct. Hi, Dewey. Welcome back. Mind vibes have been realigned. Oh, yes, absolutely. Aloha says, flowy, smoky tentacle hair that acts as a veil across the model. Sounds like a great middle ground. That'd be cool. All right, I have some polls for y'all. See, you can see all the polls here. Now I'm gonna hide them. There we go. Because I pre-planned them. That's why I don't share my references partly. But let's start developing the vibes of this character. It looks like what we're dealing with right now is trying to figure out what other assets we should include. So what eerie feature should they have? An extra set of eyes, potentially, because we're kind of doing this hair. You can pick more than one. Or we can pick more than one. Shadowy tendrils, glowing rune markers, or floating weightless fur. I can't do a fourth one, but feel free to add in the comments like where you literally say like all of them or something like that, because I think adding all of these features to some extent would be very valuable. I'm posting the poll right now and it's giving YouTube a meltdown. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Everything's having a meltdown today. It's like I don't know why my computer can feel the weather change, but it's upset about it. Here we go. My poll did not go through. Okay, I will do it again. Mini Blaze said, oh, right, roses with eyes in the center. Ooh. I'm so glad you guys are taking this character that I wasn't sure was going to be very relatable or make any sense. And you guys are like, say less. I shall make it incredible. Awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I shouldn't have doubted you guys. I don't think you've ever let me down as far as it comes to like ideas and improving a design. And yeah, Aloha says, I think all of them fit great. I agree. I'll just pick the one that you think is the strongest, but I'm probably going to do all of them. There, that poll actually worked. Yay. All right. Mini Blaze says, I told you to get the sage out. I know, I have some. Alrighty. Roses with eyes in the center. Okay, 2 of you guys said this and like it. Where? Oh, roses in the hair, right? Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. I have a brush for that. I don't know where this Russian accent's coming. I guess that's what I do when I'm annoyed. Mini Blaze says, oh heck, M3M, all of them. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. I like it. Oh, your guys' enthusiasm is bringing me life again. All right, I have some roses here. Obviously, oh, we can get that like blood red color into this design, which let's be real, it needs it. They're gonna be sticking off the hair a little bit right now, and that's just because I haven't figured out a way to nestle them in quite. And I know how to nestle them in, I just haven't defined the hair volume yet. All right, so we have our roses. I'm going to come through here with a dark, rich poly paint, and then we'll put eyeballs in them, as you do. This model is going to be a lot of work. It's going to be worth it. So I'm inflating the hair to reach the roses. And then now I'm going to create an eyeball. To do that, I'm just going to have a sphere here and we're going to duplicate it. We'll make this a yellowy white. And then I'm going to subdivide it once. I'm going to poly paint the eyeball now So that way when I duplicate it, it just makes my life a little bit easier. Why is it so dim? There we go. All right, we have a spooky eyeball. I'm going to duplicate this, and now I'm creating the eyelids. It'll make sense in a moment. You guys have been very understanding though, so I think you're probably already understanding what's going on here. What does this eye remind me of? Definitely reminds me of something. So these are going to go in the center of those roses. I don't know how many active points I have because I moved that over. You can hover here. Here we go. We got a Z plugin, a decimation master, and enable poly paint. So that way when I do reduce my poly count on these, I don't have to repaint them again. And then Bunny says, human eyeball or fox eyeball? Really good point. Didn't think about that at the time. So I just made an eyeball. Oh, and then Monkey put a reference in the Discord of a triple eyeball. Even though they said a singular eyeball in the mask, I think the 3 eyeballs running up the sides of the mask might be too cool to not do. Minnie Blaze says, do you guys keep Maverick up all night? Kinda. We do stay up really late. My husband and I go to bed. Okay, we're asleep around 2 in the morning and we get up around 9. I don't mind giving you guys my whole rundown, but you ask, kind of. But we keep him up till probably about midnight, so. Yes. Deary says, one thing about pugs, once they get comfy, they can fall asleep and start making motorcycle noises in 2.7 seconds. That is 100% accurate. This stream has been on fire. You guys are so much fun. Oh, I love my job. All right, we have an eyeball. Let's start moving it around. I could make this a custom brush and to insert these even more quickly, but I don't think it's really gonna take that long. Nope, this is gonna take forever. We're gonna make a custom brush. All right, the way you do that is you unify your object to the center of the scene and then create insert mesh right here. Under your brush palette, click on new, not append, otherwise it's gonna goof other things up. And now you have a custom brush that'll be always at the very bottom here. You can click and drag, and there you go. Oh, but it doesn't keep poly paint. I don't know why it doesn't keep poly paint. That's always driven me crazy. Just kidding, not doing custom brush. We're going to duplicate and move around by hand like a peasant. That is fine. God, is my dog snoring really that loud? Like you can really hear it? That's great. Some odd noises going on back there. Oh my lord. I will say he's being exceptionally loud today. It's his birthday. He can spend it however he wants. I will adjust these eyes maybe a bit more angular and fox-like as soon as Bunny was like a human eye or a fox eye, I'm like, I just did an eye. That's a good question I should have thought of before I started doing it. Streams like this are always really fun. Thank you for trusting the process on this and contributing your own creative ideas. It makes me more excited about the design, makes me a better artist. And even though live streams don't like pay me directly, I mean they do sometimes because you guys donate or if you're a member of the channel, all that kind of stuff. I have seen a bump in my Patreon support since live streaming regularly, which is awesome. It really makes us feel like a huge win-win. Kind of like a little upward spiral, if you will. I definitely have more students now, which is the best. Teaching is definitely a much smaller part of what I do in my business, but it's really fun and I enjoy it a lot too. Oh, Maverick, okay. Oh my gosh. If you're just tuning in, hi, my name is Mia. I make 3D printable models for a living. That dungeon sound in the background is just my dog, don't worry about it. And it's his birthday, so he gets to make as much noise as he wants. All right, we have some eyeballs in the center of these roses. They're not super fitted in there, but we're kind of still in the concepting phase. Oh, I like how Hindsight provided a reference where they're kind of carved out. I can do that. Dewey asked, do I have a storm cellar? I don't. There is a tornado warning tonight, but I'm East Tennessee enough where like, I'm fine. Bunny says that eyeball reminds me of something. I think so too. Like, I think it's actually reminding me of an eyeball from Yu-Gi-Oh! I never even watched that much Yu-Gi-Oh! But that's what it's making me think of. Manibly says, a nice lesson for us on making a brush and what not to do. You're very welcome. I'm good at doing both. Monkey says, dude, Mia, I can feel his snoring through my subwoofer. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. That is so funny though. Oh gosh. Goodness. Hindsight says, would the rose eye be a case for sculpting the iris? See reference. Yes, I really think it would. I wish I did that earlier, but I can do it pretty quickly still. We're gonna turn off poly paint. Bam. I can just scoop it in there. Wow, I am spinning. There we go. See? Pretty cool. I'm not gonna do the pupil. I'm just gonna carve out a hole, but that's gonna be really cool and work well. And that will definitely show up in a 3D print. Nope, wrong way. Pupils go technically nowhere, but they're definitely not extruded out of the eye. It makes it even more eerie though. All right, so this is the unpainted version. Looking pretty cool, guys. I am so much happier with this. Heck yeah. Very happy. All right, let's get more of that red coloring throughout the model because it's a really nice accent color and it does play nicer with the purple than I expected. I do want to be more of this blood red though. That's not blood red, it's kind of like a muddy dark red. You know what I mean. Hindsight said, I can't hear the snoring, but these headphones suck. Yeah, I guess you gotta have a fancy setup to appreciate my 3D sound effect. Oh, and then Bunny put in what that eye is from. Yeah, so it's that gold one that you shared. That's what it made me think of. Very cool. All right. Now I'm feeling relaxed. Yes, the Millennium Eye from Yu-Gi-Oh! Sure enough. Ha. I can't wait for colored prints, right? I'm gonna stop spamming. You're not! Spam away. That's literally what the live stream reference channel is for, so thank you, thank you. I am creatively pooped right now. I'm gonna put a couple spinnies around here for us to look at. Whoa, don't do that. No. There we go. And now I'm going to take a little sit. Just for a moment. And take a little breaky break. Alright, so for the poll, I know y'all pretty much want all of them, but the number one emphasis is going to be shadowy tendrils and glowing rune markings. Where the heck are we gonna put those? I didn't know that was gonna win the poll. Or it was gonna be up there. Okay. I can put runic inscriptions onto her belt and then paint those to glow. How's that? Yeah. Hey, Michael here. Welcome back, Loop. Are you going to have the bang swoop in front of the mask like in the reference? Do they do that? Oh, they do. No, I'm not gonna do that. Good question. I'm like, do they? Yes, this thing that I've been looking at and forgot. Observant of you. Thank you, Clute. I could do the runic inscriptions on the mask, but if I do that triple set of eyeballs, that is going to be a little too much going on, I think. Just carve them into the hair. I think between the roses, the tentacles, and the swoopy spiral, I think putting runes in it is maybe too far. And then Minnie Blaze says, look at the necklace I posted. A necklace. That will work. All right. Oh, that'd be perfect. Yeah, I might do that. Good one. Oh, Maverick. Okay. There's a lot of fantastic stuff going on in the Discord. I'm pretty sure all the peasants in the tavern today are regulars. But if you are not a regular and you're a shy lurker, join us, join us. Here is the Discord invite, and you can actually see what we're posting about in the live stream references channel. It's just a bunch of pictures. We also talk about 3D printing, 3D modeling, and just memes. It's a good place. All right, we're not even halfway through the Tavern Keeper's craft, and I am heckin' tired, brain-wise. This was great, like, creatively. Aloha says, Mia, why not have the runes inscribed on the flowing tentacles, like, embossed, so it's a nice bumpy texture to paint glowy? Ooh, that'd be nice. Then I don't have to worry about, like, putting a bunch of texture on the tentacles. I might do that. I might do that. I like the idea, perhaps. I'm thinking of, like, Witcher, where, like, the different signs, like, all I can think of right now is Kuhn and Igni. But, like, each rune inscribed on each tentacle is a different effect. So, like, if she hits you with one of them, it's like a fire effect, or, like, so on and so forth. That could be kind of cool. Minnie Blaze says, we have your back, Mia, on creativity. You really do. If she has a spell book, you could put the rune on the book. I was thinking about putting a book on her hip because this character is so lacking in assets. Don't make that a joke. I do want to put a nice big book on her hip. I really need to stop talking like that. Where is my asset library? There it is. Items. So here is an asset library. All these little pieces I've made throughout the years. Boop. And I have a nice book right here with runes already on it. Bless. Let's go ahead and throw that on there. Everybody wins. There. What'd you guys think about that book? It's a very book. Delete all of that, and let's get some poly paint on this book, unless it's not. Oh cool, I did make it correctly. Good job, me. All right, poly paint it. We're gonna do like a darker red tone here. I know this character's already really dark, but so be it, it's Eldritch. There we go. And then let's get some bluish silver tones for all the metal pieces. Assuming it's not going to fight me. If it fights me, then we won't do that. Stop. No. There we go. Fill object. Perfect. I'm trying to grab this one little piece here, and it's being really silly. No. Fine, you win. All right, and then obviously they'll need to glow red of all things. So let's kind of put that on here. The book is not super high poly, so I can't like really dig in with some of these effects, but I can do it good enough. Let's get a shadow in there. I think the requester is going to be over the moon with this. I think they're a DM, so really it's their player is going to have a really cool character. I think it'd be cool if the actual pages in the book were also kind of glowing red. So we'll put some of that on here. It's not too much of a glow effect versus just color. That's fine. All right, spooky book is complete. And we'll throw it on her hip. Nope. Beautiful. Pretty cool. Maybe put a holster on her hip for the book. I could do that. Ooh, someone new is here. Cheese on rice ramen. Oh, you have such a good username. What am I gonna pick? I'll just call you Ramen for simplicity. Hello and welcome. Embossed runes would look like the ritual scarring some tribal groups of people engage in. Could be pretty cool. That would be awesome. That's another vote for putting them on the tentacles. And Miguel's here. Hey girl. Hope your stream goes well today. Yeah, it's going really good. Thanks for tuning in. We're making an Eldritch Foxfolk. It's someone's custom player character. It's gonna be pretty sick. I have a sketch right here, but we've deviated a little bit from the main design, but just for the better. Hindsight, Mia, if you want the glow effect, the inlay should be brighter version on the outer. Yeah, I figured. It's just kind of the way that I ended up painting it. As I was doing it, I'm like, this is wrong. That's okay. Funny says, man, we should bring wearing books on hip into fashion. I agree. I absolutely agree. Legit one of my favorite fantasy costume design tropes. Same. Aloha says, what if we mask those runes, extract it with some dynamic thickness? You could have some nice chunky individual pieces of rune to scatter across the surface of the hair and tentacles glowing. That's true. You wouldn't, so Aloha's my student, so I'm gonna get technical with her. You wouldn't use dynamic thickness for that, or you wouldn't need to. But yes, you can extrude them to have be the easiest to paint and the most visible. So very close. Miguel says, we're getting another dragon today. Very nice. All right. We are about halfway through the Tavern Keeper's Craft here, and then that will move us on into happy hour. I might skip happy hour to have happy hour with my husband at an actual bar and grill, because it's his birthday today. Mini Boy says, Miguel, we need pictures. Love dragons. If you just search Miguel's name, he's pretty active on social media and sharing all of his work, and it's all free. So if you want I don't know if you 3D print Mini, or no, you do, Blaze, Marcia, your husband. But yeah, he's got all kinds of free stuff. All right, making a lot of fantastic progress here. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. If you haven't already, like the stream. If you really like it, subscribe. I stream almost every day, and I'm always working on some really cool stuff. If you want your own 3D printable models, I have a link in the description for that. And everything I make on here on stream is actually a request. So this really unique, cool character, I can't take full credit for it. It's actually someone's player character that supports me on Patreon. So if you support me on Patreon, you can make a request every month, and that's what I do. That's the whole life cycle of my business. You ask for stuff, I make it, you give me money, I make more stuff. There you go. Business. Monkey says, full approve a happy hour with Ricky. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. I'm excited for it. Alrighty. Let's keep on going. Let's get some detail on the shirt and the pants. I'm really happy. Oh, actually I have another poll I want to ask you guys. Thank you so much for voting on all the different effects we're going to have. We had a lot of input. I appreciate it. I'm actually going to screenshot it because the results are a little unusual. We're going to pretty much do all of them. Less emphasis on the floating weightless fur though. I have an important question to kind of determine the way I pose this character. And that's going to be asking, what is her role in the world? I don't normally ask this because their class is usually clear, but in this case, it's pretty open. I have some good some good options here. I figured she could be like a mysterious oracle, a trickster sorceress, a cursed wanderer, so kind of like a Ronin, I guess, or a void cult leader. I thought all those could be pretty cool. And essentially, depending on what you guys vote on, it might kind of influence the way, what other like trinkets or assets I give to this character. I'm leaning towards more on like the oh wow, our votes are very divided right away. I like it. I'm kind of thinking maybe more like a void cult leader, maybe. but it's really hard to say. But the trickster sorceress could be really cool. That's currently in the lead. A baker who likes the cosplay. Hey, you can have whatever headcanon you want. I like it. Okay, looks like Trickster Sorceress is pulling in the lead right now. Make sure you guys vote. I'll have that up for the next 10 minutes or so. In the meantime, let's get to work on the pants. Let's get some detail here. Ricky also votes for Cult Leader. It's not in the lead right now, but it's trying. I need to scroll up and look at the references that Mini Blaze gave in our Discord because they're really strong and cool. Pirate Cult Leader. I'm not, you know, I guess this shirt is kind of reading a little piratey, isn't it? Thank you guys again for all the awesome references you share with me on Discord. This is really helpful. Discord has always been a cool place for like my Patreon supporters to kind of like gather and talk about 3D printing, but recently it's really improved the streams, so thank you. I'm gonna go with a lighter brown for the pants just so they're easier to see. Too much black. A reminder that technically the poly paint doesn't affect the 3D model at all, but it sure makes it more fun to create. Maybe gives you some ideas to paint this on your own later too. Alright, I'm actually going to spend some good amount of time detailing the top because I think this would be a really good asset to save off later so that I can give other characters this fun peasanty blouse. Alright, I'm going to close holes on the sleeves and then make sure to add a crease modifier. So that way later, currently if I subdivide, I will lose the detail right here on this little cuff. If I click on crease, it'll hold on to that a lot better. It is a little crooked, so when I try to do the crease modifier by default, it's being a little silly. So let's go ahead and come through here. And I'll tell it what to do manually. There we go. Perfect. I'm also going to extrude a poly loop at the top here. It just kind of gives it, the sleeve looks a little more constructed and a little more well thought out. There we go. It is kind of grabbing a crazy poly loop here, so we're going to mask it ourselves and then extrude it. And that's because I probably should have zero meshed one more time before I did this, but I missed some of these triangles that are in here. It's not the end of the world, I just need to be a little bit more thoughtful before I continue. There we go. I'll do extrude and poly loop. Stop being ridiculous. Polygroup island. There. Haha, I will win. ZBrush has lots of thoughts and feelings today. For those that are new, ZBrush is the software I'm using. There we go. Getting a bit more detail in here. And then same thing as earlier, I'm gonna add a little bit more like construction points to the pants. It just makes them look more believable and more interesting. Instead of using extrude, I'm gonna use Q-mesh. And the reason is because if you Q-mesh two things that are next to each other, it kind of does like a smart adjustment. Here, I'll show it to you once autosave's done. So see right there where it clicks before, after. Kind of a cool little thing. If you extrude, it won't do that. It'll just kind of, it completely ignores the other topology. I usually use extrude, but recently I'm becoming more and more of a fan of Q-mesh. I hope you guys have at least half of a relaxing weekend as Maverick is having right now. My dog's snoring in the background. He's really set in the mood for a relaxing weekend. Okay, she really is looking kind of piratey now. I see it. I do see it. Monkey says, mysterious trickster, oracle cult leader. There you go. Aloha says, wait, where is that crease button located? I need it. Yeah, I felt the same way. I believe it's located under geometry. Yeah, so under your subtool menu, click on geometry, and then there's one called crease. I am aggressively circling it right now. And there you go. You can adjust like the tolerance here, like where it will crease, if it's not behaving the way you want it to. And if there's at any point you're looking at a button here, like C tolerance, what does that mean? If you hold Command over it or Control on Windows, it'll tell you a little bit more about it. So that works for anything. All right. Going nicely. We're currently an hour and a half into the stream, and I think it's going swimmingly. So thank you guys. Some more cool stuff being shared in the live stream references. Wow, that paint job that you just shared for, what is it, Scriptor Mortis in 2022. That is incredible. That is how you paint glow effects. Lightest in center, you know, because it's glowing. I think I'm so used to painting like, wounds and scars that I was doing the absolute reverse of that. All right, looks like we have a Trickster, Sorceress, and Void Cult Leader that are pretty close in votes. I think Sorceress, having a book is technically more warlocky or wizardy, but I think that still kind of overlaps. I imagine maybe she has like pressed leaves in there, other spooky stuff. Void Cult Leader, I like to think this is like her little black book. Or maybe just full of like nice letters to give the peasants if she sees them. Who knows? We didn't specify it's a bad cult. Does it have to be bad? Hindsight says, I follow some crazy good painters, but he's probably the best lighting effects. I can see that. That's incredible. Even like the small thumbnail that I have like previewed in Discord, it really stands out. Alrighty. Well, things are going super good. Taking another break here. Minnie Blaze says the book has a list of evil folks she is hunting. I can see that as well. I like it. Man, this turned out so much cooler than I was anticipating. I'm really, really proud of this. Well, I'm gonna save this where it's at, and I'll probably continue this on the warm-up tomorrow. Thank you guys for being part of this process and making it even better. I think I'm gonna wrap up the stream a little short today. Happy hour will be with my husband, so that means that we are just jumping right to last fall. This is kind of our wrap up here. I'm gonna review what we've worked on during the stream. We made a little bit more progress on the Hodag, so let's go ahead and look at him for a moment here. Here's our handsome boy. Not too much more detail to be added before he gets a fun, gnarly pose. I'm not sure if I'll pose him on stream or not. It really just involves going to Transpose Master and a lot of masking and using 3D Gizmo. Clute says, yeah, sorceresses have innate magic, but it could be an Eldritch diary. Dear diary, today we convince a small town to join the nameless one. Ah, beautiful. I actually like that. It's like a sign-up sheet. Bunny says, Pathfinder got a new deity recently, the Devourer, the god of black holes, cosmic scale destruction, and supernovas. Ooh, that sounds like perfect, ideal, quintessential cosmic horror. I like it. Very cool. But yeah, just want to give you guys a little reference here, kind of revisit our Hodag. Let's get a fun, dumb render of him. What's his best angle? I gotta really show off that acid spit. There we go. He's just a cute little fellow. This is one that I know for sure is getting 3D printed. I might like to paint this one, actually. I tend to like painting minis that are bigger, so like monsters. They're just easier. I find them a little less tedious and a little more forgiving on the details. He's just a cute little guy. All right, so we did some work on the Hodag, and then we really brought this Eldritch Foxfolk to life. And we had some moments that I was not sure, but I trusted the process. Let's grab a quick save here from the middle of the stream to kind of review how nothing she looked in the beginning. So this cool character we have now started with, it's loading, this. This is what we started with. Not nearly as much ambiance or cool. Kind of odd. It's just like a fox lady with a corset and no pants. Art. But yeah, this is what we have going right now. Something about this reminds me of The Promised Neverland. Surprisingly, an anime I watch but did not read. I usually read them but do not watch. That was the reverse for me. Hindsight. Dear Diary. Mood. Apathetic. Major bonus points to anyone that gets the reference. What is the name? Is that Daria? Is that a reference for Daria? Because that's probably the vibe it gives me. Now I have to Google it. I think it's Dear Daria. That's what the show is called. Either way, it's a cool show, so I'm giving myself points, even if that's wrong. It's a song. Well, boo, because it definitely feels like that. But also love Daria. I'll give myself partial bonus points. That's about as far back as my references can go. When Daria came out, I was 1. Bunny says, I was thinking of a Strong Sad's blog from Homestar Runner. Yep. Nope. It's the birthday man.
Yep.
I'm ending the stream early.
I see that.
I really want burgers.
I was gonna say, I think it's more for you than it is me.
I'm so hungry. Alright, that's closing. So, boop. It's our little man, who is now 28. Oh, he's falling.
Yep.
Who is now also 28.
28.
He has his foot in the cup holder. He does not look happy about it. He looks so crouchy.
Oh. Very good boy.
Last year, his birthday was more exciting because he turned 21, so...
Oh, yeah.
Maverick was old enough to drink.
Oh, yeah.
Now you're just straight to old man.
He got a little sip of Coors.
He did, actually. Everyone's telling you happy birthday.
Woo, thank you.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
Oh, awesome. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. It's always a good time. I'm pretty sure all y'all are regulars, but if you're not, join the tavern, subscribe, join the Discord, join us. I guess I have to put a link in if I say join us. Again, I think I already know all of you hooligans already. We are not a cult, but join the cult. Yeah, so this last call. Gonna hang out for a minute or so, and then it's burger time.
Right on, sounds good. I'll put a little dab in the chat.
Sounds good. The tab verb. Oh, yes. Speaking of, I need to break my sign. There we go. All is good. I do have that on toggle. Monkey says, happy birthday from the Peasants crew. That's sweet. All the peasants wishing you the best birthday.
No, I dab.
Oh, wow, that is a cute little dab. Aren't you too old to do that now?
I think so.
You're almost 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get it out while I still can. I got 2 years.
You got 2 years of dabbing. Oh, it's so lame. I appreciate you guys. I really do. All right, almost got a 2-hour stream, bonus birthday stream, and I think that that wraps us up. I think we're set. If you do not want to join the cult or the tavern, that's unfortunate. If you just want 3D printable models, I suppose that's also fine. I have over 400 people that support me on Patreon, and you should too. We're cool, I make cool stuff, and if you don't think my stuff is cool enough or niche enough, I got the chops, request something and I'll make it. Win-win. Rocking the flannel shirt there, that is all my husband wears, so yes, it's every day. Alright, you guys, take care, and I'll probably see you tomorrow. If not, it's pretty much every day. In the Discord, we have a Tavern Peasant role under Rules and Roles. So react with your little farmer dude, and then not only do you get a fancy Tavern Peasant role, but I'll ping you guys when I stream. Or you can subscribe on YouTube. There's 1,000 different options. Just pick one and be merry. Alright, I'll see you guys later, okay? Take care. And especially those that live in this East Tennessee tri-state area. Whatever. It was like a huge storm coming through tonight. It's like tornadoes and 80 mile per hour winds. Be safe. I'll be safe. And if you don't see me tomorrow, no, I'm just kidding. I'll be fine. I'll see you later. This outro is too long. Bye!